Hey everyone, I am super excited right now. The day has finally come where Trenton has given me permission to move forward with a series of 2 shows, today, Monday, and then Wednesday, American Single Malts. Can you believe it?
What days did you say?
Monday and Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Monday and Wednesday. Today, Monday and Wednesday. We're shooting these videos a little bit early because I'm going to be out of town for a few days. So Trenton's a little bit confused. So bear with him.
I'm surprised that you remembered.
Yeah, but I got you on that one.
It'll be fun. I think a lot of the American single malts that I've tried, I don't know, 6-8 months ago, I was like, it's not bad. It's just not my bag. Mm-hmm. But then I found my love, that Westward cast strength, the 2023, and then now anytime I see single malt or American single malt, unfortunately, some of the scotches and stuff that you have over there that are not peated, I tried yesterday when Kent was over painting, and I was like, oh no, these are good. I was like, I'm gonna have a whole nother category of stuff that I'm looking for, all on top of rums for this year too.
Yeah, so basically at this point in time, you're still concrete in the fact that you're not a peated whiskey fan. And, and truly, there's not a whole lot of folks that are. There's some that are, but not a lot, not a ton. I grew into it.
Yeah.
I really like them now. I really didn't like it at first taste, but I do now, boy. I do now.
I still can't do it, and I honestly can say that I never thought I would enjoy a single malt, but I'm getting to that point, so this is a cool show. Well,
it is, and today we're going to basically be dealing with, I tried to come up with a few different varieties of whiskeys in somewhat of a starter mode. So today's show is going to be kind of helping you take your first step into the water and get your toes in the water here.
Okay.
That's the first show. Wednesday's show is going to be my favorites in my collection. That's going to be Wednesday's show.
I'm excited.
I'm already excited about that. I might want to film that as soon as we're done with this show because I'm already stoked up for that. But let's tone it down just a touch. And for today, we're just going to get everybody kind of a little bit used to seeing these products. I mean, American Single Malt is truly the fastest growing spirit in the United States right now. There really wasn't any rules and restrictions years ago, but the distilleries got together, the major distilleries of American Single Malt got together and wanted to get their own classification of whiskey, right?
Yeah.
So it was all willy-nilly, but now they've kind of honed it in, Strandhan's and a few other ones. They got together and they've tried to hone it in to a few different rules. And it's going to take 1 minute to go through this, but it's a large subject. So I'm going to try to just condense it down into a nutshell for everybody the best I can.
You almost knocked me right in the nose with your gestures there.
I'm super excited. Worried. Super excited. Has to be 100. You'll be all right. It'll be okay. Has to be 100% malted barley, malted in the U.S., right? Distilled in the U.S. and aged in the U.S. No barrel restrictions.
Okay.
Now, with Scotch, it has to be aged in some form of an oak cask,
but not
a certain amount of time. Not. That's the thing there. It can be ex-bourbon, it can be virgin oak, it can be any of that stuff, but it also can be some other form of wood.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it's at there. So there's no age restrictions or barrel restrictions.
Okay.
So that's kind of what you get with American Single Malt, again, condensed in a little tiny box.
Okay.
And kudos to those folks for actually, pioneering and spearheading this effort to make their own classification of whiskey, because I think it's fantastic. I really do.
Yeah.
Let me show you the first one that I have here, Trent, and I know this is an oxymoron. We're going to start with that right off the bat. I've got Woodford Reserve straight malt whiskey. Now, the reason why I said it's an oxymoron, because it's not truly an American single malt whiskey. I wanted to highlight this particular bottle because it's an excellent bottle for the folks out there that have never tried a single malt, an American single malt, to kind of get out there just a little bit and give this a try. This one here in the mash bill is 51% malt, 47% corn, 2% rye.
Okay.
So you only have a little bit more barley in there, the 51% barley, so they can call it a malt whiskey.
Okay.
But that's why it doesn't say on the front single malt whiskey.
Okay.
So
can I sample some of these? Is that allowed?
Yes, you can. Okay. And Trent, another thing too, just to try to prove my point as far as the popularity growth in this particular category, What are you seeing with the huge distilleries right now? They're coming out with American single malt releases. Jack Daniels,
Yep.
Jim Beam, New Riff.
They did a single malt?
Yes, they did. Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Well, Yellowstone did an American single malt.
Correct.
A lot of them. I feel like when Jack Daniels hops on, I don't want to say a bandwagon, but starts taking some new ideas, new products like American single malt, and coming out with them in an allocated release. And they also have another American single malt in the liter fashion. I think it's only available on like duty free.
Right.
But that's been a big thing last year, especially.
I just also heard not that long ago, a few days ago, that Bullet is coming out.
They did come out with one, yeah.
And I didn't know that until a couple days ago when I was starting research for this show. I want you to taste that, Trent, and let me know if you don't taste chocolate malt balls, like a malted chocolatey note.
Now, I don't know what those are.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
my goodness.
Well, I'm
You have never had a chocolate malt ball.
Is it like a Whopper?
Pretty much.
Oh, I hate Whoppers. Those are like one of the worst candies that you can get. It's like chewing on a piece of chalk covered in
Have you ever had
dust.
a malted chocolate malted ball from Albany's?
No.
It'll change your world.
Okay.
It'll change your opinion. If all you've had is Whoppers out of a box, then yeah, it'll change your mind.
Okay. Yeah, this is different.
That's different. Now, the good part about this is 90 proof, I think 90.4 proof, but it's only like $35. You should be able to get this somewhere between $30 and $40.
I didn't even know they did this.
Yeah, so it's really reasonable just to see what you think.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's a good place to start. All right, moving on from there. Another budget-friendly bottle that I really, really enjoy, Trenton, is the Strandhan's Blue Peak. This bottle is a little lower proof, though. It is 86 proof, but it's still only going to run you about $40. Okay. So not too expensive. For me, I get some brown sugar, and I absolutely love the fruity notes that I get with the Strandhan's, the Blue Peak in general. I think it's a solid bottle to start sampling and tasting American single malts.
Is this finished?
No.
What I was like first taste, I was like, oh, this does not, because the ones that I started out with were finished in port, cognac, I think one of them.
Right.
Port, cognac, sherry. That seems to be a pretty common thing. I feel like it's sherry.
Sure.
So when I went into this one, I was like, but then keep in mind this isn't an American single malt.
Right.
I don't know how they get such a nice berry flavor in it. It's really nice.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not super viscous. You would get that, but it's $40, Trent. You know, it's a $40 whiskey. Fantastic place to start. Moving on. I wanted to give you an option that I refer to when it comes to single malt scotch as a sherry bomb. I love sherry bombs. This is the Westland Sherrywood, and I know you've tried this.
I'm going to try it again.
It's 92 proof. This one's going to bump you up a little bit. It's probably $70, $75. Now, tons of sherry influence on this bottle, just tons. And when I say that, you're going to get tasting notes of figs and raisins and dates, you know, and dried fruits. That's kind of in consensus of what I would consider a sherry bomb. And am I correct on that?
It's just so good.
It is. It's really, really good stuff. But I wanted to include at least one bottle that I felt was an awesome sherry bomb.
One of the things, and I don't know if this is exclusive to a sherry finish or finishes for American single malts in general, but I feel like on a good majority of the ones that I've had, I always get a chocolate or a mocha or some kind of coffee note to them. Yeah. And this one in particular, I love that in this.
Well, keep in mind now with American single malts, it's not like bourbon. So in order to be called a bourbon, it has to be aged for a certain amount of time exclusively in new charred oak barrels, correct?
Yep.
Not with American single malt, remember? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they could have, this could be a batch of some that are in, you know, ex-bourbon and some that are strictly in ex-sherry casks.
Okay.
Aged, you know, for the 2 or 3 years that it's aged for. So that's why you get that real heightened sherry experience.
I love it. Delicious.
So it very well can, you know, it doesn't have to be a finished type process.
Okay.
All right, now, Whiskey Del Bac. I went actually and visited with the drinking buddy, my friend, the drinking buddy, Josh. We visited Whiskey Del Bac and we did the tour. Fantastic people. He sat me down and the master distiller there and just gave me all kinds of great knowledge and information about the American single malt movement. They do a great job. They're in Arizona. I think it's Tucson, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure it's Tucson. But this particular bottle is Whiskey del Bac Dorado. Okay, it's 92 proof. It's going to run you about $60, $65. This one in particular, the barley was smoked over mesquite wood. So it's got a little bit, it's got the beautiful single malt flavors, but yet there's a wisp of smoke going through there.
I don't know if I would say wisp.
It's a wisp. Give me some of that right there.
Okay, so here's what I equate this to. When we were younger, and it was, I think it was, well, no, not, it was all of us. Mom would go to the deli at Walmart and she'd get this mesquite turkey.
Oh yeah,
but the rind was just, it was gummy. It was like really disgusting. So I'd pick it off, but it had this like mesquite type thing, and you get that. But this, I wouldn't call this a wisp. This is more of like you just put a fire out and the plume of smoke kind of envelops your whole face.
No, trust me when I tell you.
I like it though.
It's a wisp of smoke, but you know, I'll meet you halfway. How's that? I'll meet you halfway.
Agree to disagree. It almost smells peated.
It's great flavor. It's a wonderful flavor. It really is. Now, I will tell you this, too. Whiskey Del Bac, they have entry-level releases as well. They're in their core releases. They have a classic that is actually smoked, as we are tasting here, and they have one that is unsmoked, too.
Okay.
For more like the, I don't know, $50 range, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I would be interested to try that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just picked this one specifically because it's a whole different flavor profile. It's completely different than everything else that's on the bar.
Yeah, and it's honestly not bad. If Starburst came out with a campfire flavor, this is exactly what it would be like, because it's still like juicy, as you'd say.
It is.
It's definitely something that I would encourage you to try. It's different. It's not too smoky. It's not peaty, but it's also not a wisp. Okay. It's in between.
All right, we'll leave it at that. For my high proof fans that we got out there that love the high proof, I'm going to show you one here from Old Line American Single Malt Whiskey. This is their Navy strength. It's in their core release. It's 114 proof. Old Line is veteran owned.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool there. They're veteran owned. Great people. I've spoke to them. I've emailed them. I spoke to them on the phone. Really a wonderful company. They're out of Maryland. But to me, Trenton, for this higher proof option here, it's massive brown sugar and cocoa. That's basically what I get. Okay. You know, for the most part. Now, I'm going to give you one more just as a sidekick here to this Navy strength. If you ever find a store pick cask strength from Old Line, it's probably going to be that $70, $75 range. But if you ever find a cask strength, a store pick cask strength Old Line, buy it. It is absolutely fantastic. This particular bottle is truly what started me down this trail of American single malts. And I don't know if you remember or not, Trenton, was it last winter when it was freezing cold that we were in Maryland doing our Sagamore barrel pick? Well, Brian, that used to work at Sagamore, took us out later in the evening. We're at a bar, and he looked at me and he goes, "Do you want to try something that's different and new when it comes to whiskey?" And you know what I said, Trenton? Absolutely, because that's how I am. I want to try everything they have. He bought me a pour of this, not this particular bottle, but it was at the bar, but a store pick from Old Line at cask strength. Boom. I was a fan. It was fabulous. So, hence, everything else we have here.
I get more Okay, before I say that, do you know of Navy Strength? Because I know of Navy Strength Plymouth, the gin. Is that exclusively 114 proof? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't believe so. I just think that's their way of labeling it as a higher proof option in their core release. That's all. And
I know you love when I throw you off with my questions. Is there a difference between Navy Strength and cask strength? Is that just Navy Strength just proof down to something?
Yeah,
okay.
It's cask strength proof down just a touch to match that 114 proof.
Okay.
So they're giving folks a little bit of a higher proof option, but not truly at 100% cask strength.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, do you want my input?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
I will say I like them both. I like the cast strength better. For me, the Navy strength, and I don't know if because it says Navy in it, I think of a boat, but it honestly kind of reminds me of when I'm cleaning out my pool and there's chlorine in it. I get this like chlorinated type of note, like when I'm outside in the summer. It's not in a bad way.
You said it's not in a bad way.
It's not. It's like you jump in a pool and you accidentally like keep your mouth open and then you swallow a bunch of chlorinated water and then your nose hurts for an hour. It's kind of like that. Just a little bit.
You can't be more wrong.
What?
You just can't be.
Wait, which one did you pour? The Navy strength?
I did.
No way.
I don't know where you're coming from that. I truly get brown sugar and some cocoa notes, and if I sat with it a little longer, there's some other things that might pop out at me. But I think it's a solid offering. Now, I will say, if you find this cast strength store pick, it's better than this one. This one is phenomenal.
It's very good. Yeah, very good.
For sure.
Well, you came out with quite the lineup here.
Mm-hmm.
I will say.
Just wait till Wednesday's show. Don't miss these, please. Don't flip by the YouTube and just go, American. Learn, see, you never know. You might really love some of this stuff, and if you're just ornery and stubborn,
yeah,
and you don't want to check it out, at least this gets it's perplexing for me. And I get it, everybody can't be like me, and I can't be like everybody, and I understand that, but I like to keep my horizons as wide as they can be for whiskey in general. That's why I do enjoy, single malt Scotch, Irish whiskey. I do enjoy them all, and I don't see why other folks can't either. But I know I'm not hitting on you hard. I know there's folks that's bourbon only, and they won't even drink rye or anything. That's it, bourbon or nothing.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah. So
well, I'll say this too. I was just thinking about this just now, and you don't know anything about this, but if you'd be interested, we could set up a little classroom down here, and you could enroll, and we could do it. Kurt could teach you a little bit about American single malt. We could have a syllabus and a rubric.
We could teach each other. How's that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
yes.
I always want to learn, and that's a good point too, Trent. For the folks out there that have more of a collection than I do and a little bit more knowledge than I do, what bottles would you put into this grouping for folks that's really just never have tried American single malt? I'd be interested to know.
Yeah, and I mean, apart from these, I haven't seen much other labels of American single malts on the shelves. It seems this could just be a thing in our area. We don't get a ton of them, but I would hope that this year maybe more rums are coming out, but B, American single malts get a little bit more recognition.
I'm hoping to grow my collection this year. I really am, truthfully. I think I have roughly probably, 20, 25 bottles. So
okay.
I don't have an extremely large collection of American single malt. As Trenton said, they're not even really around here that often. But, I'm reading up on it, and there's some I want to try to get.
Yeah, I have one, so maybe mine will grow this year too.
All right, don't miss Wednesday's show. It's going to be my absolute favorite in my collection. I got 5 or 6. I don't know. I'm working on trying to whittle it down to 5. I'm doing my best.
6 is fine.
I'm going to give you my absolute favorite American single malts that are in my collection. All right. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you, boy. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly, and see you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.